Okay, so this gave us a lot of descriptive data. Now, if we only wanted to focus on certain functions, like just the mean or the median, etc., we can use what's called an aggregation function. So let's start describing that, okay? All right, so in the first two examples I'm going to give you here, I'm going to isolate just sales quantity and sales dollars for the sum and the average. All right, so in the first two, in these two examples, okay, for the mean. In the second, I find the sum and the mean of the entire data frame, right? Now, the processing time for the second version is significantly longer. This is because it's trying to get the sum and mean on objects and date time variables. So I'm going to run it, but I'm not going to, I've run it before, and I'll tell you, after about 3 minutes, I stopped the code because it can't do it, right? So the first one, all right, let's put in this, so I'll just say in So here's the code. I just want to type that in there. Again, after about 3 minutes, I just stopped the code because it was such a waste of time. So df1, we're going to have that equal to df, and the aggregation function is agg. Okay, and we want to isolate the two variables, and we can put that in the curly brackets. So first, sales quantity. Okay. And we want, for sales quantity, we want to, in square brackets, get the sum and the mean. So obviously if you wanted more functions other than just sum and mean, you would continue to keep writing those. And then, comma, here's the next one within the curly brackets. I want sales dollars. And again, I want the sum and the mean. Okay? Now, the second one is just df2, dfagg, and here I'm not telling which variables I wanted to isolate. I'm just, for everything, get me the sum and get me the mean. This is the one that takes forever, and I stopped it. So I didn't actually run this code. I'm not going to run this for this video either. But this is the one I wrote. So let's take a look at what df1 comes up with. And it should just come up with sales quantity, sum and mean, sales dollar, sum and mean. Okay, for everything. That was fast. right? So here we've got a 2 by 2, 2 rows, 2 columns, sales quantity, sales dollars, and I probably have, well, we'll see what we've got here. Let's open it up. Here's my sum and my mean. So the index is sum and mean, and sales quantity, sales quantity mean, sales quantity sum. That's interesting. Sales dollars sum and sales dollars mean. So $42. Now you think about that, you go, okay, that's $42. That's the average, but that's over 13 million records, right? Is that really the way we want to examine sales and sales quantity, right? So it's interesting. We may want to look a little bit differently. We might want to examine sales a little bit differently. So if the analyst I want to examine sales, both quantity and dollars, based on some grouping, maybe by store, brand, date, vendor name, right? Some of those by size, right? Description. Remember some of those things that we learned about when we did this DF describe for all this stuff. Maybe we can, for these 66 different bottle sizes, what's my average sales quantity in dollars, right? So again, you can do some grouping here. There are a couple of code snippets the analyst can use. Okay, in this first line, we go back to the aggregation function. That AGG, okay? The first part get this up here a little bit. The first part of the code identifies the variables. The next piece, right? The next piece is the group by. So the dot group by identifies the grouping variable. And the .agg identifies the variables to be aggregated and the function used in the aggregation. Okay, so let's take a look and see what this looks like. So it's df, and we're going to call this df summary, is equal to df. Okay, so we have to put in the variables to be used, right? The first part just identifies the variables to use. And there's 3 variables we're going to use: sales quantity, sales dollars, and the group by variable store. So we have to put in all the variables: store, sales dollars, and sales quantity. Okay, so that And now as we move forward, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to use these three variables. Okay? So the first part is we're going to take these and we're going to dot group by, and in this case, we're going to group by store. And then we're going to, and I'm going to, what we'll do here is we'll give this a pound, right? We'll start a cell. Okay, then we're going to, dot AGG. That's not, I'm not liking that. I don't like where that's coming. And we'll do dot AGG, and here, that's better. We'll put in our squiggly brackets. So we want sales dollars, and we want that by the function. Let's just do one, sum. And if I wanted more than one function, I put these in brackets, right? So as just like we did up here. And then we want the next one, which is going to be sales quantity, and put that also as a sum. Okay, so this cell is going to give me a new data frame called DF summary. We're going to use these three variables. How we're using these variables is this is the group by variable. I've defined that. And these are the variables we're going to aggregate. And this is the function we're going to use to aggregate them. So let's run this cell. Okay, no errors. Let's look at DF summary. And now I've got sales dollars and sales quantity, the sum of sales dollars and sales quantity by each individual store. So I've got 78 different stores, right? I can look at this. 78 different stores, and I've got two variables. And store is now the index. So if I ever wanted to find out, just call a number. What was our sales for store 5? What was our sales dollars for store 5? I'd put in a call out for 5 and then sales dollars. And that should give me exactly what I need. So for example, I'll actually do it here. Let's see, we want DF summary dot LOC, and I want store 5, and I want sales dollars. Let's see if this works. Nope, did not like. Oh, it did like it. So it told me that store 5 sales dollars had 2.683811. Right? So let's see if it pulled it out correctly. So let's go back up to DF summary and store 5, 268, right? This is in scientific notation. 381 to the 6, right? So this gives me exactly what the numbers are. This is putting things in scientific notation, right? So it's a way to do a nice summarization the way you want to do it.